Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another episode of the Backyard Sportscenter podcast. This is a sort of a milestone for the podcast. This is our 30th episode, so thanks for everyone for being so supportive, and thanks for all the views and the listens and all the incredible feedback everyone has had. Wiz is here again, so glad to have you as the co-host on. That's made my life so much easier. I feel like it's grown a lot even since the short time that you've been doing it, so I really appreciate that.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on, Nate. Hello, and I'm just happy to be here, happy to be a part of it.
Quick congratulations on winning the BBOL championship for 2003 league, but that's not what we're doing here. But I just did want to give a quick shout out to you for that. So been a long road, but I'm really happy that you finally pushed through.
Thank you. I appreciate that too. It was a bit bittersweet, but I think being a part of a series that brings about a rule change is somewhat historic in its own right. And so maybe that's foreshadowing that, I'm not here to politic, but anyways, happy for the win, and I appreciate you with the congratulations.
Nice little teaser for the next episode. I like it.
Yep.
Yeah, but this episode we will be doing another backyard baseball online league kind of update recap. This will be going over weeks 5 through 8 in both the Humongous League and the Junior League. Timestamps will be in the description when we start talking about the Junior League. We'll be starting again with the Humongous League. So going to the schedule, starting off with week 5 for the backyard division. We got Killer Bat winning 7-1 over Silver Bullet. Killer Bat just is one of the GOATs for online, and he keeps being doing great at it. So feel bad a little bit for Silver, but I think Silver's starting to get the hang of it. I think he's starting to come around with it a lot faster than he did for RBBL. I think he's starting to get the hang of it. So hopefully we'll see some good things for him in the future.
Yeah, that's my drinking buddy. Definitely a fine line with those drinks. You got to find that sweet spot. But Killer Bat, just proven and continues that. So second result we had was Hines and his Hornets traveling to Playground to face Jaker's A's. Jaker takes this 1-0 in a defensive battle. Hines, a proven competitor, and Jaker pulling out the tight 1-0 victory here. Big time win for the A's at home.
Yeah, next up we got Visery and Trickatriz. Visery pulling off the victory 1-0, another pitcher's duel at Sandy Flats. I know Visery hasn't had the most enjoyment at Sandy Flats, but who does other than maybe Schlim? So Visery takes that 1-0.
Next, we have a crazy offensive output where Orlando Stars hosting Scatty's Monsters at home. The Orlando Stars Phillies take this one 13-11 at Big City Stadium. Orlando, this is back-to-back weeks putting up big outputs, but looking like a Junior League score there, but Orlando Stars catching stride and getting a win there at home over Scatty's Monsters.
I don't know if it was this game or the week before, but I think it was this game that I think like Scatty was up, or I forget which one it is. Either Scatty or Visery was up by a lot of runs. I think they were up by like 6 runs or something, and Orlando Stars came back to win. I think it was this game.
Nate, I've got to start taking notes because I watch some of these games and they kind of just sometimes they blend together. Sometimes they kind of get lost in, the weeks, but it might have been, because that's a lot of runs.
I know Orlando Stars did it. I just don't remember which game it was. So I'm going to say it's this one just based on the amount of runs.
And if you're listening, please correct us.
Yeah. Yeah, next up, speaking a lot of runs, Magnitude putting up a +10 in his happy place, Steel Stadium. Tough one for Bobby, but Bobby's a great player and got some good wins in the season as well.
Yeah, so next, the last backyard result we have for week 5 is your Royals traveling to Ekman to face HC's Fishes. HC's Fishes put up a strong 7 here at home to hand your Royals their first loss in week 5. And HC continues to roll. Their Fishes move to 5-0. That was a clash of the Titans there.
Yeah, yeah. If you call Ivan King a Titan, then yeah,
the Titan.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Moving on to the front yard division, we got Loba versus Epstein. Loba taking this one 4-1 at Big City Stadium. Thought Loba might win by a little bit more than this based off of the record of the Twins, but good job for Epstein to holding Loba to only 4 runs.
Next, we have Willigan traveling to Super Colossal Dome to take on Stoops' Brewers. Willigan takes care of business here and handles the Brewers 9-0. I didn't get to see this game, but it didn't seem like this one was much of a contest. So again, Willigan takes care of business on the road, 9-0.
Clash of the Titans in the next one. Like you said, King Pepsi and Schwilly. King Pepsi taking this one 5-4. One of the most competitive games of week 5. Critical for tiebreakers late in the season. And a solid win for Pepsi over one of the best players in the league.
Next result, we've got Spence traveling to Dirt Yard to take on Freak Show's Expos. Freak Show puts on an offensive clinic here, taking this one 16-3 over Spence's Padres. Spence still winless here on the season in week 5. Freak Show, a proven player, an RBBL champion, takes care of business at home 16-3 with the win there.
Next up, we got your game from week 5. You beat Rajas, the season 1 and season 0 runner-up, 6-4. So I don't know if you remember anything about this game, but you probably remember more than I would.
The only thing I remember it was either 6-0 or 6-1 going into the 6th inning, bottom of 6. Rajas put up three or four and had runners on base. This was a very scary 6th inning for my team, but we left some runners on base to end up on top there.
Yeah, the last one was Personizzle and DLW. Personizzle winning 8-3. Solid or really good offensive output that probably was their highest offensive output on the season, beating DLW 8-3 at Parks.
Moving on to week 6, we our first backyard division matchup. We've got Bobby Jones, Bobby Bones traveling to Parks Department number 2 to take on Killer Bat's undefeated Orioles. Killer Bat remains undefeated with this result, taking Bobby's Bombers 6-2, and Bobby with 2 tough road matchups there in week 5 and week 6 back to back, but Killer Bat takes care of business to remain undefeated through 6 weeks.
Next up, we had Jaker and 8C going at it at Ekman. Jaker putting a scare into 8C, almost pulling off the upset, but 8C hangs on. Don't know if this was a home run by Leo Wayne or not, but probably was.
If you're a betting man, I'd bet on it. Looks like I get to talk about your matchup again, Nate. So Nate hosts Trigatriz's Rays, or Devil Rays, as they were referred to in 2001, at your home field of Cement Gardens. Ivan King scatters however many hits he gave up over 6 innings, and your Royals bounce back from your first loss with a win against Trigatriz at home 6-2.
I think Dimitri hit a grand slam or a 3-run homer in this one.
Cue paste music.
Yes. Yeah, we got Orlando Stars are going to Steel Stadium to play Matsude. Orlando Stars starting to get his groove back. One of the initial goats playing back on the original servers. 2 back-to-back wins. Orlando Stars is starting to heat up.
Next, we have Hines, fresh off a loss, a 1-0 loss on the road against Jaker, which is a really tough loss to swallow. Puts up a strong 7 at Scatty's Monsters here at Colossal Dome. So after an 11-run output in week 5, Scatty puts up a goose egg in week 6 and takes a loss to Hines Hornets 7-0.
The last game for the backyard division is Silver Bullet pulling off the upset against Visery 3-0 at Sandy. I believe this was a 3-run home run by Sammy over the log and Kurt putting up a 0, I believe. Or Kurt, no, it's not Kurt, it's Nan, I believe, put up a shutout.
It's a home run hitters league. First front yard division matchup, we've got my Wombats traveling to Cement Gardens to take on Loba's Marlins. This was a really tight game. I took an early 1-0 lead. Loba bounced back with, I think, 2 inside the park home runs, at least 1. And this game was won on a Lisa Crockett line drive / ground ball home run down the left field line. So Wombats remain undefeated through 6 weeks. Take this one 3-2 on the road against Loba's Marlins.
That game was a classic watching. I remember watching that one. That was a good game to watch.
It was wild. And that big wall Loba has in right field, it really nullifies Joan May's ability. Cheryl Reynolds hit, I think, at least 1, but 2 really strong balls off that wall. So that wall is something. And if you're pitching there, you can definitely pitch to that wall strength.
And next up, we got DLW playing Stoops, and DLW wins 1-0. That 1-0 game must have been so traumatizing it made Stoops disappear.
Next, we have King Pepsi, fresh off his Week 5 win at Schwilly's Cardinals, again traveling to Ekman Acres to take on Personizzle's Angels. Personizzle fresh off a win in Week 5 against DLW. King Pepsi, maybe a little bit too much Pepsi after that Week 5 win against Schwilly because only manages 1 run at Ekman. Personizzle takes this one 3-1, and 2 strong wins for Personizzle there in Week 5 and 6, respectively.
Freak Show in the next one, putting up a statement, putting up 8 runs against Rajas. That's pretty incredible considering the opponent. Freak Show just proven what a great player he is.
No doubt about that, Nate. Next, we've got Willigan traveling to Ekman Acres to take on Spence and Spence's Padres. Willigan with a huge output of 16 runs following his 9-run output in Week 5. 2 huge back-to-back wins. Sure, against winless opponents, but still great offensive outputs. Willigan takes this one 16-2 on the road against the Padres.
Last up, we got Swilly and Epstein. Swilly bouncing back, winning this one 8-4, doubling up the Twins.
And that will do it for Week 6. Week 5. On to Week 6. We have...
That was Week 6. That was Week 6.
That was Week 6. That was Week 6. Thank you, Nate. Moving on to Week 7, and boy, did we have a match of the week for y'all. We had Killer Bats Orioles, undefeated, taking on HC's Fishes, also undefeated, at HC's home stadium of Ekman Acres. Killer Bat scratches 5 runs at this massive park. HC only musters 1 run. Killer Bats Orioles take this one 5-1 on the road to remain undefeated through 7 weeks, giving HC's Fishes their first loss.
Yeah, no, this one, check it out on the YouTube if you have not seen it. It was a good game.
Great game.
Next up, we had Bobby pulling off the victory against Jaker 4-3. Bobby's had some tough ones, but pulls through to get the victory over Jaker.
So next we have Matitude coming off a really tough loss against a admirable opponent of Orlando Stars. 1-run loss in week 6. Manages their own 1-run win in week 7. Traveling on the road to Trigatriz's Rays at Tin Can Alley. Matitude takes this one 4-3 on the road and gets back on the right track.
So next up, we got my game against Orlando Stars, 2-3. I got a little bit lucky in this game. I think all my runs scored off of errors, but you take what you can get, especially when you got Ivan King on your team.
The Titan.
So I believe the biggest... Yeah, I believe the factor in this one was tall players throwing to a 2 height at first base and second base. So got some overthrows and some out of plays and was able to score timely errors when I had runners on base, and that let me escape in that one.
You heard it here first, folks. 3, 4, and 5 height stocks going up considerably in next season's draft. Visery's Reds travel to Tin Can Alley to take on Heinz Hornets. Heinz coming off a strong win against Scatty's Monsters in week 6. Visery coming off a tough loss at home against Silver Bullets Cubs. At home, takes this one 2-1 against those Hornets on the road. Visery gets back on the right track in week 7.
The last game for the backyard division, we got Silver Bullet and Scatty. Silver Bullet putting up 3 runs again, but this time could not get the pitching to go right. Scatty takes this one 5-3.
Moving on to the front yard division, we've got Loba, fresh off a loss at home, traveling in this week to Parks Department number 2 to take on DLW's Yankees. And Loba, a man possessed, putting up 11 runs, taking care of business on the road, and getting this win 11-1 against DLW's Yankees.
Yeah, that's a lot of runs.
Yeah, and from a proven player, getting back in the win column, big win from Loba there in week 7.
Yeah, and the next game, for public service announcement, all gains from It Stoops have been forfeited for the rest of the season. So probably not how you would like to win this one, but you win this game on a forfeit, as does everyone else that plays Stoops for the rest of the season. So we'll be skipping over those games for the rest of the season.
Yep, just a little bye week. Next, we've got Pepsi, who tough loss at Ekman Acres against Personal in week 6. He gets to go home at Cement Guards, a field that he built that team for, taking on Rajas and his Rangers. King Pepsi putting up a 6 spot against Rajas 1. King Pepsi, a win at home, 6-1 against Rajas Rangers.
And next up, we got Freak Show, only scoring 2 runs in this one. Personal holding him close, but did not get the offense that Personal needed to pull off the upset and beat Freak Show, and Freak Show keeps on rolling.
Next, we've got an upset. We've got Schwilly traveling to Parks Department number 2 to take on Willigan's Blue Jays. Willigan, we know, a proven player, but Schwilly, Schwilly only 1 loss to that point, a strong competitor in the front yard division. Another 1-run loss, this time on the road against Willigan's Jays. Hard-fought battle, but Willigan takes care of business at home there 4-3 against Schwilly's Cardinals.
And the last game in week 7 was also a 1-run game. Epstein beating Spank 2-1. Both teams, I believe, were pretty much winless up to this point. So someone was going to get a win, and it turned out to be Epstein, and congrats to him for getting that win. And that does it for week 7.
Moving on to week 8 in the backyard division, Killer Bat, it's just another day at the office, takes his lunch pail, clocks in, hard hat on, clocks out, 7-1 win at home against Scatty's Monsters. Just a walk in the park for Killer Bat there. So 7-1, Orioles continue to roll.
Next game, you could also say it was a walk in the park for Visery, putting up a massive 11 runs, just a total output and outburst from what Visery's been doing some of the other games, but we all know he's capable of it. So Visery puts up the monster output in this one over Jaker, 11-0.
Bobby Jones catching some momentum here. 2 wins in a row after a little rough patch in that schedule. 1-run win at home. Bobby Jones hosts Trigger-Triz, Rays at Steel. 1-run victory, 4-3 for Bobby Jones and his Bombers. 2-win streak, if you want to call it a streak there, in 7-8. So Bombers taking care of business at home.
Next up, we got Orlando Stars versus 8C. And Orlando Stars gets the victory. Orlando Stars is starting to put everything together and gives 8C their second loss on the season. I believe this might have been a chipper home run. I think that's what he told me. It was a chipper home run. So I believe that's what it was. And if not, he can correct me if he listens to this.
Yeah. Please listen, Orlando. Next, we have your Royals traveling to Playground Commons to take on Silver Bullets Cubs, and SB wishing he was on the road after 2 3-run performances on the road. Doesn't muster a single run at home here at Playground. Your Royals manage 6 runs and take those Cubs easily 6-0 on the road.
And then the next game we got was Hines versus Matitude. Hines beating this one in a low-scoring affair, 2-1. The division or the conference champion, 1 seed from last season, is starting to get put it together as well. Hines starting to get hot here.
It matters. On to the front yard, Loba. After putting up 11 runs on the road in Week 7, puts up a strong 8-run output in Week 8 at home at Cement Gardens, taking on Spence's Padres. Loba back-to-back wins here in Week 7 and 8. Another win for the Marlins, and maybe catching some momentum here late in the season.
Yep, skip over Swilly getting a bye. Next up, we got Pepsi going against you. Battle of the middle schoolers in a way. You took this one 3-1. I don't remember exactly what happened, but you take the victory over Pepsi.
For any BBOLers that aren't in the RBBL server, I work at a middle school. But yeah, this was a multi-Joan May home run game, which was very vindicating for us, given that Pepsi had Jennifer Goodfellow, Joan May's quasi-clone in 2003 in RBBL, and had a lot of negative things to say about her. So anyways, Joan May / Jennifer Goodfellow can hit, ladies and gentlemen. Freak Show just continues to get wins, and this is what good teams do, good managers do. Freak Show 4-0 at home here against DLW's Yankees, and for not a strong output from the Expos at home, but it doesn't matter. Good teams find a way to win, and that's what Freak Show does here in Week 8.
And next up, we got Willigan and Rajas. Rajas pulling off the slight upset, depending on who you talk to. 3-2 over Willigan. That's a big win, especially for trying to get back into the playoffs.
Fresh off a Week 7 loss at home, Personizzle travels to Epstein's Twins Big City Stadium, takes a 1-0 win here. Looks like it was either a defensive duel or a pitcher's duel, but Personizzle's Angels take care of business on the road and finish that week with that 1-0 victory against the Twins.
So that does it for Week 8. Quick look at some of the standings right now. Some of these are, I think most of everyone is done for Week 9. But for the sake of keeping everything kind of tidy for the episode, we only went through the first, or Weeks 5 through 8. Kind of looking at the general picture of the backyard division, got Killer Bat, myself, and 8C all have clinched a playoff spot. All 3 have our going to at least have the 5 seed or higher, depending on how the last couple weeks or last week or two go. So we got half the spots filled are secured for the backyard division. And then you got Orlando, Hines, Matt, Bobby, Scatty, Fizzery, and Jaker all in the mix for spots 4 through 6. If I had to make a guess, I think Orlando Stars and Hines have come on late in the season, and I think both of them will make it. So I think it's going to come down to who's going to make that last spot, and I think that's going to be between either Matitude, Bobby, or Vizzer. It's one of those three are going to take it.
Yeah, you got Vizzery with a huge week. Well, we maybe we won't get into that, but it's gonna be a little matchup dependent here, week 10 and 11. So we're real excited to see how those play out.
Yeah, and then we got in the front yard division, you and Swilly have clinched playoff spots. I don't believe none of the seeding is secured. And then Epstein, DOW, Spank, and Stoops have all been eliminated. So far it's 8 teams competing for 6 spots. Technically 6 teams competing for 4 spots. Looks like there's going to be a lot of tiebreakers involved with this one, and it's a big jumbled mess. So if you love tiebreakers and close games coming down the stretch, these are some good games for you.
Glad to not hopefully be a part of that, Nate.
Well, you've already clinched the spot, so you don't got to worry about that. You meant
seeding for sure, but
you definitely are in. It's just gonna depend on you might have to win another game or two to clinch.
Got to finish strong.
Clinch to get out of the single elimination round. Those top 2 spots are very valuable because you automatically go to a best of 3 instead of a 1 game play-in game.
Got to finish strong.
So that's kind of how the Humongous League has been going on. We're gonna skip over the stats. You can check it out if you want to on your own time. Link to the spreadsheet will be in the description. Only thing that we kind of I know we briefly talked about it beforehand, but Leo Wayne a little bit coming down, people walking her, and some of the other kind of Rachel and Xenon and Cheryl kind of all creeping up. But other than that, that's gonna do it unless you have anything else to share about the Humongous League.
No, best of luck to everyone the rest of the way, and have fun.
So, starting with the backyard division for the Junior League, we got DH34 going to JTS. And JTS continues his strong performance so far in the season and wins this one 4-0.
Next we are going to have K1D traveling to the Terra Starks Angels at Ekman Acres. K1D taking care of business here, 1-0. Pitchers duel, but this is back-to-back wins for K1Ds or Quandies, depending on how you pronounce it. It's Melonhead. So big win for the Melons there on the road.
Next up, we got Sire Box versus Maddox. Took over one of the RBL teams late in the season, so good to see that they're having some success in the online league and win this one 6-4.
Next, we had Maria Luna Fan, 22, hosting Shunkin Juniors Phillies at Parks Department number 2. The Maria Luna Fan 22's Diamondbacks take care of business here, 8-7 in a relatively high-scoring affair, but good win there at home against those Phillies.
And then last game was Steel Eye versus Jadem. I don't know if that's it is a sub taking over for Colby's team, I believe. So I think it looks like it's Jadem's team for at least these 2 weeks. So Steel Eye winning this one 5-1.
Nate, it's okay. It's hard to keep up with all these movements in the Junior League. I don't blame you.
It's been hard to keep up from just trying to get people. So.
Please stay and play, Junior League managers, please. So moving into the front yard division, Cherries Astros, which are fresh off an interleague loss against JTS's Pirates. They took that loss 3-2 in week 4. They get their own 3-2 win in week 6 here on the road at Ekman Acres against Probs Fishes. So Cherry bounces back and plays the Uno reverse card to get their own 3-2 win here in week 5.
Next up, we got Lil Waz, just the overwhelming favorite, and definitely proven why he is the favorite to win the entire thing and win the World Series, putting up 14 runs. Just a massive outburst against Ricky Ricardo in this one.
You know, Lil Waz and I talked a little bit in general chat or whatever you want to call it, league chat or BBL. I don't remember what server it was in, but he was a little questionable on whether he wanted to play in the Humongous League, and I just told him, now you know. And so I think there'll be room for him next year, and really good to see a fellow RBBLer having this much success. Our next matchup, we had Evan SWs or Evans Twins traveling to Park Department number 2 to take on the Wombats of St. Louis Suz. And the Wombats take care of business here at home in a 1-run victory, 5-4. Evan undefeated at this point, but the Wombats giving them their first loss here and in a tight one.
Calp, or Calp Clap, or whatever they say.
yeah, Calp.
Next up, we got Yakaraz winning 3-1 over Mike Madness. Maybe budding rivalry in the online league. Watch out.
You heard it here first. Moving on to week 6, first backyard division matchup, we've got DH34's Yankees hosting Tara Stark's. Excuse me, my Excel sheet was not. Although Tara Stark's Angels here at Big City. DH's Yankees take care of business 6-0. DH continues to put together good performances here and takes care of business here at home.
Next up, we got Jadam taking over for the Hornets again in this one. Beats Kwandi 3-0.
Next, we have, I'm going to say Lazy Chisel. Pronounce that how you want. Lazy Chisel playing for the Phillies here in Shumkin Jr.'s stead, traveling to Steel Stadium to take on Zior Box's Mariners. And the substitute coach manages a dub here, 9-5 on the road at Steel Stadium. So Phillies get a win here, and Shumkin Jr., wherever you are, you can hang your hat on that.
Next up, we got JTS versus Maddock. Two very well good coaches in the backyard division. And JTS takes this one to continue his dominance over that division so far, 3-1.
Our interleague matchup, Mike Madness comes on over to the backyard division to travel to Parks Department number 2 and take on Maria Luna fans, Diamondbacks at Parks Department. To take on Maria Luna fans, Arizona Diamondbacks, Mike Madness takes care of business here. Huge win for the Mets, 3-1, fresh off a Week 5 loss for the Mets. But interleague play, Mike shows up, 3-1 victory on the road here for the Mets.
And then moving on to the front yard division, we got Prob versus Little Waz. Prob putting a scare into Little Waz, so a little bit of a shocker there. But Little Waz does just enough to take care of business in this one and wins 5-4.
Have you ever seen that meme with Michael Jordan where he says, and I took that personally? Yeah, that was Ricky Ricardo's Monsters after that Week 5 loss against Lil Waz. Ricky Ricardo, fresh off that 14-3 loss, puts up 15 runs at home at Parks Department number 2, hosting Steel Eyes Bombers. Ricky Ricardo, huge win at home, takes care of business there against those Bombers.
Great meme. Great meme. Yakaraz against Evan. Evan bouncing back in this one, winning 8-0. It's a good solid win for him after getting upset in Week 5.
And fresh off their 1-run win, the St. Louis Suz Wombats They host Cherry, back-to-back home games for the Wombats here at Park Department number 2. They, after a 5-4 win in week 5, they put together 6 runs there against Cherry's Astros. It's 4 runs to get that win at home, 6-4, back-to-back wins there for the Wombats.
And a little side note, we have confirmed it is the STL does stand for St. Louis. That is verified.
Okay, there it is. Go Cards.
Moving on to week 7, we got Maddock versus DH. DH winning this one. That was a matchup of 2 solid players, and DH takes this one before he had to dip for summer camp. Played really well. I mean, we knew that this was going to happen going into the season, or we knew pretty early. This was the one that we actually did have some planning involved, or we kind of knew that it was going to happen. But DH had played solid, and he's looking forward to coming back next season. So I'll love to see that.
Yeah, looking forward to have DH back. He put together some strong performances here in the junior league. So, got to take care of IRL, but was really excited to see his performances. So our next matchup, we're going to have K1Ds or Quandies Melons traveling to Playground Commons to take on the Phillies. And I'll tell you what, Nate, the Melons took advantage of some really confused kids who had a third different manager in 3 weeks. The Melons take this one 5-4 on the road against the Phillies this week, managed by Halo TW. So tune in to find out who manages the Phillies in week 8.
I believe this is one of Loba's friends, so hopefully they'll be sticking out. Otherwise, they'll have to deal with him.
We will be messaging Loba shortly after this.
Yep. Next up, we had Colby coming back for this one for the Hornets, just to make ourselves more confused if you weren't already. Winning this one, Merlin Luna fan winning 6-1 over the Hornets. Merlin Luna fan putting up a solid score in this one.
But Nate, you can come back. If you leave, you can come back. Colby has shown that is the case, which we love to see.
Yeah.
Next, we have a huge upset here. JTS's undefeated Pirates traveling to Ekman to take on the Terra Stark's winless Angels. Terra Stark takes this one 2-1 at home, getting their first win and giving the Pirates their first loss of the season. Huge win for the Angels there.
I believe that was off of a Sally Dobbs Oppo 2-run home run.
She's not called the boss for nothing, Nate.
Nope. That is definitely for sure. Do not sleep on Sally Dobbs. And then that's the front yard division. Looks like we had a forfeit in this one. I don't know if that was just because of how the week was going or whatever, but St. Louis Suz wins this one on forfeit.
And so, little weird highlighter here, but fresh off their huge output in week 6, Ricky Ricardo travels to Playgrounds to take on Iracaz's A's. Musters 3 runs on the road, and that's enough to get the job done. The Ricky Ricardo Monsters take this one 3-1 on the road against Iracaz's A's.
And then we got Lil Waz putting up another monster performance against Cherry. 15-1, Lil Waz just keeps on rolling.
Steel Eye thought, man, 8 runs isn't enough to win in week 6. Well, I'll put up 7 and see how that does. And, well, it was enough. On the road at Cement Guards, Mike Madden is saying, man, wish I was on the road. This is another home loss for Mike Madness, 2 in the last 3 weeks. Steel Eyes Bombers take this one 7-3 against the Mets on the road.
And this one, I don't know what exactly is going on. There's no result for week 7 for Zyro Box versus Evan. Don't know if that one's going to get forfeited because the one in week 8 from Zyro Box has been forfeited. So I guess we'll figure that out later.
I think it was announced, Nate, and you can cut this if you want, but I'll say it again. I think it was announced, Nate, that the Mariners are no longer continuing in the league.
I think you're right, and I came back from vacation, so I don't remember everything.
Who was your favorite head? Who was the best looking head on Mount Rushmore?
Probably George Washington.
Okay, Washington. Classic. It's just a classic number one. It's like Smitty, Warber, Jaegerman, Jensen.
But the other thing is, like, it's also the only one that it's not just the head.
Oh, he's got does he have like the ruffle tie?
Yeah, like the started like the coat.
Oh, well, we love a good ruffle.
So that's like that's kind of interesting, but just the view is great. So
they said he's number one. Y'all other MFs, y'all ain't getting this. You're just getting the head. We're not giving you any chest.
That's a good one. Now, where were we? Because I forgot where I was.
Zior Box's Mariners are not continuing for the remainder of the Junior League season.
Okay, I don't remember exactly why, but like you said, play your games. If you're gonna sign up, be prepared to play all the games.
Yes, please just play. Please just play.
And if you do know you're gonna miss a week because of whatever, let people know. Let your opponent know. Let the league admins know, and it'll be a lot easier for everyone involved.
And even if you don't want to play anymore, it's kind of like just common courtesy, like human nature. Like just tell the admins, like just say, hey, it's not for me. I'm getting my teeth kicked in, or whatever, insert, reason / excuse here. Just communicate. It's big time. Just do that.
And if you are struggling, maybe there's something that, talk to one of the vets. Maybe there's some little strategy, or, maybe it's how you're pitching. Maybe it's how your lineup or defensive alignment is. It could be something super small, but can make a big difference.
I agree. Reach out for help. It's a great community, and utilize it. Don't suffer in silence.
So moving on to week 8 after that kind of a little bit of rabbit hole.
George Washington, big sexy. You heard it here first.
Burger Planet taking over for the Yankees. Some people call Burger Planet the rank god because he's done really good in rank play, which is another possibility if you want a competitive outlet to play online, but do not want the commitment of playing in a whole season. So that's another thing for you to check out if you just want to start playing competitive, but don't want to commit to it or kind of get your feet wet. So not that many people have been playing since we do have the league, but it is out there.
Definitely. And definitely a good outlet to try players, whether it be competitive or non-competitive, but single game mode. Try your players. Give it a whirl. Next game, which we'll bypass, JTS wins via forfeit to Zior Box's Mariners. JTS maybe needed it after that loss against Tara Stark's Angels, but nonetheless, JTS back in the win column here in week 8. And so we are on to Maria Lunafan's Diamondbacks traveling to Ekman to take on Tara Stark's Angels. Tara Stark fresh off a home win against the undefeated Pirates in week 7. Almost knocks off the second place Diamondbacks, but to no avail. Loses this one 2-0 at home against those Diamondbacks. So Maria Lunafan in the win column here, and continues to roll.
Yeah, next up we got Maddock bouncing back after a tough couple weeks to beat Colby 7-2. Must feel nice to get back in the win column for Maddock there.
Next, we've got Ricky Ricardo in the interleague matchup, traveling to Ekman to take on K1D or Quandy's Melons. Quandy is fresh off a win in week 7 against those confused Phillies, but does not take care of business here at home. Ricky Ricardo with their 3rd win in a row, and another 3-1 road result for them. So Monsters take this one 3-1 on the road against those Melons.
So I believe this one probably will get forfeited as well. Jackass getting a bye, I believe, in this one. And then we'll have Evan beating Cherry 4-2. Evan actually being able to play for this one. I believe they lost. No, they won in week 6. So 3 consecutive wins for Evan now.
Yeah, big time from the Twins there. Next, we've got, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nate, a battle of 2 RBBL players, right?
Yep.
Two first-time BBOL players here in Mike Madness and Lil Waz. Mike Madness's Mets. We love that alliteration, Triple M's traveling to Big City Stadium to take on Lil Waz and his undefeated Expos. And Lil Waz just rolling, man. 9-4 win here at home over those Mets. Lil Waz proving that Junior League was the wrong placement for him, and he's ready for next season.
Definitely. But it would have been kind of like interesting to see like how he would have done.
Mm-hmm.
But he's definitely ready and definitely deserving of being in the Humongous League next season.
He said that he had a hand in that decision. So that's not me, for the record, that's not me taking a shot at the placement that was made by the admin team or anything. Like Lil Waz has mentioned that he was, a part of that. So that's more of me saying that he's capable and that I believe in him and things like that.
No, that is correct. We did kind of ask people which one they would prefer to be in, and that was his decision. So we, went with it.
And it's been, I think, it's definitely going to be a good launching pad for him. And like I said, I mean, he's proven that he can compete.
And then the last game for week 8 was St. Louis Suz against Steel Eye. Steel Eye getting back into the win column in this one, 5-3 over St. Louis Suz. So that's going to do it for week 8.
Next, standings?
Yep, standings. You want to go ahead and start with that?
Yeah, sure. So in the backyard division, we've got JTS standing at the top as the only clinched team. His Pirates 7-1. Not far behind him, we've got the 6-2 Maria Luna fans, Diamondbacks 5-3 Yankees, formerly managed by DW, now by Burger Planet. Love that name. Reminds me of Pizza Planet from Toy Story. Toy Story 1, one of the greatest animated movies of all time. Top 5 for sure. 5-3 Maddock. There in 4th, his Sox, Maddock, like Nate has alluded to, took over an RBBL team. Maddock, we love to see, Nate's going to remain impartial, but I love to see some RBBL. I love to see some RBBL folks competing strongly. And so Maddock there in playoff contention. Not far behind him, we've got Colby's Hornets, Colby back in the driver's seat, K1D Quandies, Melons, and Halo. Well, the Phillies are the Phillies. I'm just going to call them the Phillies because they've had, all those different managers. The Phillies are just having daddy issues there. But there at the bottom, we've got Tara Stark, who huge win against JTS there. Hope to see Tara. I know she streams. I'm glad that she's joined the community. And Ziorbox, who forfeited the rest of the season. Ziorbox, please get in touch with admin. We'd love to have you back. You can return.
Yep, that is very sure.
Yeah, please. You'll have to go through some process. I don't know because I'm not an admin, but you can't just leave. You can't just ghost. But and then moving on to the front yard, we've got Lil Waz and his dominance clinched at 8-0. Evans Twins not far behind him at 7-1, also clinched. And then after that, no team here has been eliminated from playoff contention, but we've got Ricky Ricardo and Irikaz 5-3 and 4-3 respectively. They're in 3rd and 4th. And then we've got a 4-4 team in Steel Eyes Bombers, 2, 3, and 5 teams in Mike Madness's Mets and St. Louis Suz's Wombats, a 2-6 team in Cherries Astros, and Prob's Fishes at the bottom of the standings here. Prob not going to exist after this week, but we will see. And so front yard a little bit more wide open with no teams eliminated, but 2 teams clinched.
Yeah, Prob is eliminated because they eliminated.
Yeah, Prob's gone.
They eliminated themselves.
But wait, Prob communicated?
Or something like that. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on.
Well, and for anyone else listening, if Prob communicated to the admin team that they just don't want to play anymore, I have to commend them because that communication is very important and it's commendable. And I can't say we, but I'm sure that the league officials appreciate that. So kudos to you, Prob, and reach out to some veterans if you want advice. Come over to the RBBL server, and if you enjoy playing the game, you don't even have to play in any of the leagues. Just play the game and enjoy the community.
Yeah, and in my opinion, the community is the best part of the leagues.
I agree.
Yeah, but that's gonna do it for the junior league. There's still a lot of good matchups. They're currently just finishing up their trade window, so I think for the next episode, we'll talk about some of the trades that have happened in both of the leagues. I think that'll be a kind of a good segment for that. But that's going to do it all for this episode. So thanks for putting up with us for all our crazy shenanigans for this one. And hopefully they'll be more shorter and more in-depth for the rest of the season and the playoffs. Next episode will be the World Series recap for the RBBL and featuring hopefully Freak Show and you, of course, Wizard. So look forward to that as well next time. So unless you got anything else, Wizard, that's going to do it for us. See you guys next time.
See ya.